Good morning. Today we're at Maxwell's and we're going to be working on some pan-seared scallops on this beautiful day. So here we have our day boat scallops that we carry in our shop. They're local, they're fresh, they're very good. Nice big ones. They're shucked right on the boat and then we get them just like that. So because they're shucked on the boat, I always like to rinse mine off a little bit first. So there's also a mussel here, you'll see that. I want to peel that off just because it's a little chewy, so you don't want that, so I'll go to a fish. Alright, so I have the scallops in the water and I'm just giving them a nice rinse. Always want to make sure you have nice cold water whenever you rinse your seafood. Get rid of any little sand. Shouldn't be much, usually they're not too bad, but just to be safe. So then you want to take them out. And you want to pat them dry. You don't want any of the extra water getting into your pan because you want a nice caramelized sear on them. So next we're going to light our stove. Gonna wait for that to get hot. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of butter to our pan. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to wait for it to get a little bubbly. You'll start to see that happening right in here. Also is always a good tell to let you know where your pan is the hottest. So we'll see right in there. So I'm going to move my pan over just a little bit so it's a little more even. All right. So our butter is starting to get a little bit of color to it. So we're going to add our scallops. And that's what you want to hear, is that nice little bubble. It's like applause. You want your scallops to be cheering that they are now cooking with some hot butter. They're excited, you're excited. Everyone's thrilled to be here. Alright, so these scallops, they don't have to be cooked through all the way. You don't want to overcook them because then you'll just have a bunch of expensive rubber balls. You don't want to move them either because you're trying to get that nice little caramelization crust on there. So your trick is to be patient, which is not my strong suit. So you can start to see our scallops are becoming slightly opaque here. So they're almost ready to flip. It's been about 45 seconds to possibly a minute. You can smell them. And we haven't moved them, we haven't touched them at all. So we're going to start with this one here. We're going to see how this guy looks. Oh, he looks pretty good. Might give the others a couple more minutes, or another couple seconds there. Scallops are a little bit harder to tell with because they are white. But what you're looking for is for that opaqueness to start climbing up the side of the scallop. And so you can kind of see that here on this big one a little bit, is you can see the caramelization and then that kind of starts to go up a little bit into a deeper white. So I think, actually this guy, I think he might be ready to flip. There we go. See, and you can see how your scallop was all together and then that heat kind of just cracked them. That's good, you want to see that. So I'm doing about 45 seconds to a minute, possibly, because these ones are a little bit thicker, possibly maybe a little over a minute on each side. With our scallops, you're not going to be too worried about them being undercooked. Just going to give that another couple seconds on the stove top here. I'm turning up the heat just a little bit here to get a little bit of a more intense sear on the side, because I do think it was a lower heat on the first side, so this side we're going to turn it up, get a little bit more crispness on these guys. If you start to see one section of your pan is looking a little hotter than the others, instead of moving your scallops around, just move your pan around so that way you don't have to touch them and ruin that caramelization that's happening there. All right, these guys are cheering over here, so I think that they're just about ready to go. Let's check one, see how we're doing. And two, if you can see in here, if you want to try to zoom in a bit, you can see these little bits here of caramelization, like a butter that has gotten that little thing there. That is just a little sweet, tasty bit. So see that there? That is a nice, beautiful caramelization on your scallop. So that's what you're looking for, is a nice browning caramelized scallop on one side and also the other, but a nice clean white on the sides. Then all you have to do is maybe serve with a little slice of lemon. Our easy peasy 2-ingredient sauteed scallops. Nothing says breakfast like a scallop. Hot. My hands are cold. My hands are cold and my neck is hot. Ow! You got me.